What's good, y'all? Welcome to another video on the channel. Today we're just gonna talk about kind of the new ReZero collab. I apologize for not uploading a video in a long time, but I've kind of been busy with life, I guess. So yeah, let's just go over the units, and I'm gonna tell you how to play them and how strong they will be, because I like to say I have quite a lot of knowledge on the game. So yeah. First of all, let's just look at the official hero draw notice. So at the first unit we have is Subaru and Beatrice. So the first duo collab unit. They're actually darkness attribute, so, and human and fairy race. So that's a lot of firsts for collab, I guess. They're also base SSR but can evolve into an LR, so they will have a lot of stats and they will have a pretty good CC, I'd say. Yeah. So they increase allies' basic stats by 7% and the heroes' duos max HP by 7% for each applicable ally participating in a battle, and it's humans and fairies, so kind of expected, I guess. Also work in every game mode. They taunt and gain a buff called Spirit's Pride for 1 turn, so as soon as you start, yeah, I mean, I'm gonna put a timestamp on the screen to which you can skip if you wanna like hear my insights on their kit, because I have some notices I made where I kind of break the kit down more simply. So yeah, just go to the timestamp I'm blending in right now. Yeah, when an applicable ally dies, they are revived with the same amount of HP they had before dying. Then all debuffs are removed from all applicable allies, their HP is fully restored, and the hero duo gains Beacon of Life. Yeah, I guess Beacon of Life just makes you invincible, and it's kind of like it fixes your orbs, your old orbs, old gauge, and every time you get attacked, you receive damage from an attack, I guess. Yeah, and taking damage from an enemy skill or counter, so counters do count. Funnily enough, you lose one of those orbs, and if you lose all of them, the immortality gets removed. If you now have like one of those two buffs, your final damage taken and also applicable allies damage taken, final damage taken will decrease by a lot, 50%, or I think it's 40 at 1/6, and they gain like another huge buff when like one of those two buffs runs out. So Spirit Contract, which gives them HP related stats, damage dealt, and additional damage equal to half attack. Now their cards is just a big HP damage card and another HP damage AoE card, so they're HP scaling with some pretty nice damaging effects, I guess. Also infect on the AoE, which is huge against Salos and Sabnak. Yeah, old also is just gonna be a nuke, but attack based for some odd reason. Dupes wise, if you're free to play, even 1/6 should be fine for them to work good in PvP. Yeah, but I'm gonna also talk about that later. I'm just quickly going over the kits right now here as they stand. Emilia basically just also gives stats, damage reduction, gains like the spirit booster buffs, and so on. Same goes for Priscilla. You can see her artwork, but as I said, I have them all written down. So yeah, here you can see the banner. Banner is pretty nice. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 characters that are not from ReZero, so you should have like a 2% chance to pull a ReZero character and like a 1% chance to pull a non-ReZero character, so you should get a lot of dupes if you get like at least a little bit lucky and pull some SSRs. Yeah, and you also get like Reinhardt and what she called Rem, I think it was Rem or Rem, whatever. You get it for free, or get them for free. So that's, for me, that's 2 dupes I can use, because I'd rather invest them into a new unit than Reinhardt dupe or Rem dupe. Yeah. But let's just go over the new heroes in detail. and I've made kind of a easier to understand, hopefully, yeah, I guess a spreadsheet, whatever you want to call it. So let's start with Subaru and Beatrice. They're dark attribute. They work with humans and fairies, and also are both humans and fairies in race. Provide stats and gain stats from having them on the team. So yeah, you definitely want to run a human fairy team with them. And I'm gonna tell you why that is like really important, because they gain the Spirit Pride buff that gives them a taunt for 1 turn, and also increases their HP related stats and reducing allies damage taken by a lot. I think it was like, we can actually scroll up if you really care to know. It's 50%. Yeah, it's 50%. So you're not gonna have that if you have anyone that isn't a fairy or a human on a team. So yeah, I guess you could try to run them without it, but they're gonna be a lot less tanky, and I don't know, maybe you can make something work out, but I'm not sure. So now when they have the Spirit's Pride buff, or like, wait, I forgot this part. They give 1 ally, which can also be themselves, full-on revive. So that gives Subaru and Beatrice the Beacon of Life buff for 2 turns. So if like they die or any other of the allies die, they gain the Beacon of Life buff, and that buff is kind of like, I call it like a heart system, you know, because your ult gauge, whatever it is at the time when you get Beacon of Life, is fixed at that position. So now imagine if you have 3 or 4 ult gauge, then you can basically take 3 or 4 hits until the buff runs out and you're not immortal anymore. So yeah, I mean, that's just kind of how it works. You can't gain any ult gauge after, but we're gonna like go over their relic in like a minute, which kind of is in that category. Or I mean, I can go over it now. You basically gain 2 ult ops when the revive activates, so you're basically going to be guaranteed to have at least 2 ult gauge with them when you have the like the Beacon of Life buff. And that kind of means that you're never like, the buff is always going to have some use for you. You're always going to be probably invincible for, I would say, a turn. If you start second, you're definitely going to have 3 ult orbs. So yeah. Then when they have the Spirit's Pride or the Beacon of Life buff, so in the first turn or when they gain the Beacon of Life, your and applicable allies' final damage taken will decrease by 40% or 50% if you have them 2/6 or above. That's huge. Like, that's just pretty much free 40 or 50% final damage reduction. So basically just cutting the damage you receive at the end in half. Helps you tank a lot more than any other defense related stats or damage taken decrease, whatever. Yeah, but you have to note the Spirit's Pride buff that you gain at the start of the battle. If you go second, it will run out like when your turn starts. So that could go either way depending on which team you face. The good thing is you're always going to have the taunt and you're always going to be kind of protected, so they're not going to be able to die turn 1. But also, I guess you just have the disadvantage of not having the damage cap as long, probably. When now either one of those gets removed, they gain the Spirit's Contract for 2 to 3 turns. Let me edit that. Basically, Spirit's Contract is just a huge buff. So it's basically their It's basically, sorry, maybe the music was too loud. I don't know. It's basically their big buff, like how Merlin Escanor gets Flame of Obliteration, how Tristan gets his, I don't know what it's called, but you know what I mean. Yeah, gives 20% HP related, 100% damage dealt, and 700 to 1000% of initial attack as additional damage. That last part is pretty crazy, because if you think about it, that's what Escanor. No, this is not the right one. I think. Nah, this is not the right one. I was searching for the one from Alexis, but I haven't, like, yeah, I don't have it here yet. But you know, Merlin Escanor, they kind of have that same effect with having 1000% of the initial attack as damage on their single target. So this just makes them have that passively for every attack they do. And that's especially crazy for AoEs, because now imagine you have like 20k, or imagine you even have 22k initial attack, then 1000% of that is going to be 220k. 220k on an AoE is going to mean that, like, before final damage reduction, you're guaranteed going to do 600k damage, 660k damage. So that's already more than most of the like HP scaling units, if you get max HP percent damage, can do. And now on top of that, they also gain HP scaling. So that's why their AoE is going to hit really hard, as we can see. Also, of course, a damage dealt plus 100% helps, and more HP related stats also help. Yeah. Then their cards are just HP scaling, the single target triple crit damage and crit chance, so it's just gonna hit pretty hard since it's HP scaling and has some good effects on it. And the AoE is basically Infect plus Pierce, and also like 50% extra damage when they have their big buff, but they really don't need it in that form. But I mean, it's just a cherry on top, I guess. And the ult is just kind of an AoE ult that's weirdly scaling off attack. I don't even know why. And they also gain their Spirit Contract again. Yeah, let me just go over dupe levels real quick. So at 1/6 you only get Spirit Contract for 2 turns, not for 3 turns. I don't think that it will matter in most circumstances in PvP. It will be obviously really nice though in PvE. And of course in the future, if you want them to be kind of future proof, you will want to have them 2/6, because the 3 turns are just, yeah, gonna be better, since other units are gonna kind of, you're not gonna be able to kill them as fast anymore, and then you would like to have the buff longer. So yeah. And the final damage taken reduction, I mean, it's nice to have it at 50% at 3/6, but 40% at 1 and 2/6 should also be fine if you're not like in Challenger and want to just climb to rank 1. You shouldn't need it. And the additional damage is going to be pretty huge. As I said, like if you have like 20k attack and you have 1000%, it's going to be 200k. And if you only have 700%, it's going to be 140k. So if you do an AoE, it's going to be a difference of I do guaranteed 420k on the AoE, or I do guaranteed 600k on the AoE. So you can see that's a big difference. But in overall damage, it's going to be like a 10% damage difference. So yeah, not too bad, to be honest, not too bad. Okay, so now let's go over Emilia. She is red, so strength attribute. She's pretty much fairy specific, and even though in the patch notes it says she's a human, she's actually a fairy. So yeah, don't be confused on that. She gives basic stats and decreases damage taken for each fairy ally. When an enemy or any of your fairy allies use a skill, she gets 1 spirit boost, which she can stack 3 times. The spirit boost increases fairy allies HP related stats and decreases their damage taken further. So yeah, a lot of just damage decrease and HP, I guess. If she has 3 of the spirit boosts, so for example, if the enemies attack you just 3 times in general, then all of your spirit boosts are removed, and she gains Ice Brand Arts for 2 turns. And that's basically just a huge attack related and pierce buff, so I think it's like 40% attack related and 150% pierce. Yep. And that can also stack 3 times. So yeah. Getting that buff is gonna be really easy. If you go second and just get attacked, you're gonna get it. If you're gonna go first and you just do 3 skills, you're gonna get it on the next turn, so yeah. When she has the Icebrand Arts, her single targets inflict freeze for a turn, and if an enemy dies from the single target, then all of the enemies are going to be frozen for 1 turn. So at 1 to 5/6, that's going to be 1 time only per match, and at 6/6 only, it's going to be 2 times per match. So yeah, that could be clutch in some situations, but probably only in the future. Yeah, so I don't think it's smart to 6/6 if you're not a whale or anything, so yeah. Her relic is that she just can't be ignited, so rip Shinra. And she increases Fairy Alas basic stats when she gains the spirit boost, and she gains the Icebrand Arts if she doesn't take damage, so yeah. And her cards are attack scaling and just bunch of pierce and more damage if she has the spirit boost or Icebrand Arts. Yeah, and her AoE basically guaranteed crits. Her ult is a single target, which gives her the Icebrand Arts at 2/6 to 6/6. And also has like the single target effect, so yeah. You only get the Icebrand Arts reapplied on 2/6, which is not really a big deal in my opinion, since it's a single target ult anyways, but yeah. Then let's go over Priscilla. Priscilla is strength attribute as well, and she's just like human and fairy support, but she is actually human. She gives basic stats and increases damage taken, so basically the same thing that Emilia had, but she has it for humans and fairies. At the start of the battle and when she removes debuffs, she gives allies extraordinary luck for 1 turn. That's just damage cap. At 1/6 it's going to be 60% damage cap, and at 2/6 and up it's going to be 50% damage cap, so yeah. And also stat decrease immunity, so kind of like Salos gives one of her allies and herself, and also how what's his name, Mael does it. So yeah, when the extraordinary luck buff thing runs out on her, she ranks up her cards, and yeah, when an applicable ally crits, gives them arrogant flame for 2 turns. So basically just small attack related buff if an ally crits. I guess nice to have, but it's nothing like crazy. The jump is kind of harsh. It's 5% for 1 and 2/6 and 10% for 3/6 to 6/6. I don't think it's worth 3/6ing or 6/6ing just for the fact of this buff, but yeah. Yeah, basically how this is gonna play in game is just that if you go second, you're just gonna immediately rank up when your turn starts, and if you go first, you're not gonna rank up in that turn, I guess, because you know the buff needs to run out and it lasts a turn, or you would need to cleanse debuffs, and if somebody doesn't just apply debuffs automatically at the start of the battle, you're not going to be able to cleanse debuffs. So yeah. In theory, you could attack like a Salos team with like I guess 2 people and get damage cap on 2 people. But we'll have to see if that's like worth it though. But I mean, you also have the damage cap at the start of the turn, so yeah, never mind. Never mind. No, it just doesn't matter. You have the damage cap at the start, and then after that, you should be able to cleanse debuffs with her buff skill, and yeah. Her the last part of her passive is basically just another Shinra counter. She can take critical hits. If she has an ignite on her, she recovers HP and decreases damage taken when she has ignites on her. So yeah, and her relic makes her always have type advantage, and enemies will always have like type disadvantage against her when they attack her. So yeah, and it also greatly increases or like reduces the type advantage, disadvantage, damage dealt or taken. So basically, if you attack with type advantage, you're just gonna do a lot more damage on her, and type disadvantage, which is always on her, she's gonna take a lot less damage. So yeah. Her cards are also attack scaling. The single target just increases her attack by 250%, which sounds crazy, but I mean, it's not that crazy. It's like a good effect, but it's nothing like, not like great damage like Subaru and Beatrice, or yeah. So I mean, that's basically it for them. Her AoE is a cleanse that gives all stats. Since Devo asks, the all stat will be 15% at level 1 and 20% at level 2 and 25% at level 3. I believe it's the same card that Snow Queen Liz has. So yeah, that's a pretty nice card. And the AoE, the ult is an AoE, which gives the extraordinary luck to allies again. Her dupe levels again aren't really that bad. 2-6 would be nice for the 50% damage cap, but I also don't think that is like mandatory in most cases. So she should be really nice for the team, I guess, but she's not crazy. She's like, I would say she's the worst unit of them. She's just like a damage cap merchant, so all she really does is provide a really nice damage cap for allies, and she's kind of tanky and gives some stats, and that's it. She's not like a crazy unit that does it all like Subaru and Beatrice, because they kind of are just a mix of, you know, Merlinor with having some infect and also having some HP scaling integrated. I mean, they're HP scaling by a lot. They also have the 1000% of initial attack thing. They also kind of have the Hell Revive mechanic. So yeah, they're just broken. Like, they're by far the best unit of the collab. They're gonna last a really long time, definitely. Like, I don't know what they'd have to release to counter her. I mean, King Melly in like a month would definitely counter her, but yeah, or them, sorry. And Emilia is nice, but I think like King Melly, for example, will have heavy debuff cleanse mechanics. I think maybe he's just not even gonna be able to be inflicted with debuffs or something like that. So yeah, I think she'll fade out of the meta kind of quick, but we're gonna see. Now I want to go over the actual gameplay, because I'm just gonna kind of break it down what happens, and so you can just kind of see how you probably should play them. As you can see in the first match, they were using Beatrice and Subaru, Emilia, Priscilla with Diane backline. Now, Diane backline, I think, will have a huge influence on the damage of especially Subaru and Beatrice. You may remember that Diane backline gives 20% remaining HP as damage during your turn. So Subaru and Beatrice have a ton of max HP, which means that they're also gonna have guaranteed a lot of, like, you know, if the turn starts and you're going first and you have a lot of HP, you're automatically gonna do like 20% of your max HP as additional damage. So I mean, the AoE would probably do like way more damage, like maybe, I wouldn't say double, but like 50% more damage if you have the N. I would still not recommend summoning for the N, because I think other options would also still be fine, especially since you're gonna hit damage cap a lot of the time. But yeah, then enemies were using just Salos, Sabna, Kel, and Escanor backline. Which is kind of weird, of course, because you would normally see... I mean, you see this team sometimes, but you would normally just use Ella Roxy frontline. Now, you see they're going second, since the collab characters, of course, don't have as much CC as the UR festivals. They're tanking quite well. I mean, again, they're all immune to the stat lower that Salos is putting on them, with the like huge attack lower, 20%, 40%, so like 20% for each, and also Sabnak with another 20% attack lower. So they're immune to all of that. They take a lot of damage there, so you see that's already not great. But you can also see, because they used 3 skills, she already has 3 of those spirit, whatever it was called, spirit buffs. So she's gonna get her attack related stats and crit buff. Also, because they went second with Subaru and Beatrice, they immediately got the like big damage buff for them. So like the additional damage of initial attack, 1000%, and the damage dealt and the HP related stats. So basically those two are now already transformed, you could say, in their strong state, and immediately able to do a lot of damage. So now, what should you do in this situation? As you can see, like Emilia is single target sealed. Subaru was AoE sealed, I guess, but it's infect AoE, so it can be sealed by Salos. Now, I think the play I would do here, personally, is probably cleanse. So you cleanse the debuffs, which grants you the, the damage cap again, and the stat lower immunity. Then, because you can't be stat lowered anymore, your stats are going to be way higher again, especially for Emilia. I would do the what's called the infect AoE. I mean, you can't go wrong with that. And then I would just do a single target to freeze her. Well, yeah. So she can't, do a CC stuff in the next turn if you don't pull a cleanse or something. Okay, so they actually went with the AoE. Also buffed first. You can see the level 2 does 20% all stat, so I assume I'm correct. And you can see it does 1.5 million damage on a level 1. So, I mean, that's obviously just a huge chunk of damage. But I don't think that's coming all from them. Like maybe 900k are coming from Subaru and Beatrice, and probably almost like 600k of that is coming from the N backline. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see, as someone like myself who doesn't have the N backline, how my Subaru and Beatrice will hit. But I think I'm gonna do a video on that and show you guys. But yeah. Then they do her AoE. It's like a 2-hit AoE, does 1 million damage. I don't think that's the right play. Of course, you're getting them all low, but why? You could have just froze her and she wouldn't be able to put up her taunt again, which would allow you to just have better target selection in the next turn. Now you can see Emilia already has 2 of the, or is it 3? I think it's 2 of the like spirit buffs or whatever. So in the next turn, if they just attack once, she will get another one of those ancient technique, ice sword technique thing buffs that give her attack related stats and pierce. Ice brand arts, he just said it. So now you see Sabna can put up a taunt again, and I wouldn't want that if I was playing. But to be fair though, they could have cleansed with Hell if they just double AoE'd, so I mean, I guess freezing wouldn't have done the greatest of differences, so you could also just do the AoE. Yeah, should also be fine. But yeah, I mean, it's more effective if they don't have Hell, because if they don't have Hell, the freezing them is definitely the better option. But with Hell, I don't know, the AoE was probably the right option in hindsight. Now, you can see that definitely the damage cap. But she has Tamiya Link, I assume. Now, what they should do here is kind of just freeze Sabnak. And maybe, I don't know if she can kill her. If she, the smartest play would probably be to double Emilia single target, and that should kill Sabnak. And through the second single target, they would both be frozen, and Hell would lose her retrogression. So if you then did single target or an Emilia AoE even, it should probably field wipe since Salus is low HP and Hell is at 1 HP. Or maybe Hell would get revived, resurrection again, and Salus would die, but yeah, it would be a good outcome either way. But again, I mean, her buff is also just temporary, so you could also just freeze and do something, so yeah. I really don't know why they did the single target. It's breaking her out of the freeze. It's not really needed. Of course, there's a million damage. It's obviously gonna do some really nice damage. Then her card also does 500k, so easily kills. And you freeze them again. I mean, that was also a nice play. You could also do that. Really, not really a way to lose this. Now, you saw here that Escanor comes out and he does the talent. Now you see, they don't have the damage cap anymore. I think this could be problematic still, because I mean, no, not really, because Subaru is gonna take care of it. Subaru and Beatrice, most likely. But you can see he does the talent, and the talent alone is able to completely kill Priscilla. So it procs the immortality type buff on Subaru, and you can see he's now old gauge locked. Now, they didn't even pull any Merlin Escanor card, so this is not even indicative of a real game. But just imagine the Escanor pulled a single target and would have done it on Priscilla, for example. He would have killed her and probably would have killed Emilia too. I mean, depending on if that's an attack crit Escanor or whatever. But yeah, probably would have killed both of them, and it would have just been Subaru, who could have with one AoE probably killed those two, and then it would have been Escanor left. And then I would have been curious to see how it goes, since Escanor would have, like, if he's alone, he would need to do like 5 attacks on Subaru to take his what's it called, you know, the thing. Oh, also you can see he was at 4 old gauge, or like 3 old gauge even here. Then he did the one skill, so he was at 4 old gauge. And then as soon as Priscilla dies because of his holy relic, he gets the 2 old gauge and he gets full. So yeah. Again, the best thing to do if you go second is cleanse. So the best thing to do against this team would be what they did probably. So cleanse, Subaru AoE, and then Emilia AoE, or I think you don't even need to do the Emilia AoE, just do whatever you want. Just don't do the single target, I guess, to freeze them, since they can just easily get out of that with Hell. But yeah, any other play, you could use Priscilla single target, you could use, oh no, yeah, whatever you want, I guess. And then in the second turn, you should just be able to like freeze and kill people. That's just basically how it should work against this team in real PvP matches. Now, yeah, we can see, because he's HP scaling and he has a lot of HP, he has a 25% HP, max HP multiplier on level 1. It's really effective against the shield, easily breaks the shield, so you don't have to worry about his cards not breaking the shield. The AoE has a really low multiplier, 9%, so that probably wouldn't break the shield, to be fair. But as you can see, it just does 1.7 million, and that's even with damage cap on Escanor, so, or Escamerlin, so yeah. Then just freezing him. And at that point he's just done for. You can see Priscilla, I mean, it's just Escanor alone, so the damage isn't really impressive. She's gonna do some mid damage in normal PvP, I'd say. And 1 million on the ultimate, I mean, it's not even HP scaling, it's attack scaling, but it's just pierce, I think, so it's not gonna do like 10 million. Here you can see the windscreen. Very short windscreen, I don't know, they haven't been doing long windscreens in a long time. Then they changed the team to, I mean, they still have the end backline, and now they changed the king, and they just took Priscilla off. Now, the thing is, against this team, you go second, and if you had Priscilla, I think you probably just insta-lose. Yeah. Well, maybe not insta-lose, but the chance of you winning is gonna be a lot smaller, since you have to imagine that, let's just see how this plays out. King gives them what is it, a 50% damage cap or 40%? I think it's a 40% damage cap even. So that attack didn't hit for much, but you can already see Roxy's after damage. The AoE hit for quite a lot, so you can see Emilia is not even half HP. Now imagine you wouldn't have King countering there, but only Priscilla. Priscilla would have easily been at the same threshold as Emilia is right now. So let's see what happens with the Roxy AoE. You can see, I think it just didn't proc, like maybe she has like 2k HP, but like nearly, and you gotta see they're like complete whales, so it just nearly didn't proc on her. If you would have Priscilla in the slot of King, then Priscilla would have probably died due to Roxy's AoE and her after damage, and also probably could have killed Emilia at the same time. And maybe because it's a lower damage cap, you would have even died on everyone. I mean, Sur and Beatrice have revive, so they would have been alive for some time, but I doubt that they could like clutch the 1v4 or like 2v4. But yeah, so against this team you probably not need King, but it's gonna be a lot trickier. A lot trickier. No, I mean, he kind of has the stance up. But I do disagree. I disagree with him doing the AoE though. I don't know if he's on HP defense or attack crit on Emilia. But as you can see, I mean, their AoE does great damage again, even though for some reason that wasn't even a damage cap on Subaru or Priscilla. And then you can see Emilia kind of, she doesn't have the stat lower immunity anymore that she had from before, so she's actually being lowered by, I don't know, at that point probably 60% attack related stats. So you can see she does only 500k, almost half, like only half of the damage she did before. So, and their plan was definitely to kill Ella Roxy, and you can see they're disappointed because they didn't make it. Now they're still kind of in a favorable position here. To play it safe, you probably could have frozen Subnuk, and they wouldn't have much they could have done either way. That would have probably been what I would have done. I would have just stance with King. You could also, if they attack with Subnuk like she did, you could also just use King card to petrify her. Yeah, just like freeze or petrify her and do the infect AoE, and you should be fine though on this team. You can also see another thing, she lifestealed, but she only lifestealed that much because Diane gives also another HP related stats from the backline. So that gives her more lifesteal, meaning she can lifesteal more. So if you don't have Diane, she's gonna lifesteal less. So she's probably gonna die to one AoE of Roxy because she's under the threshold. But we're gonna see. And now you can see, I mean, no one would do this single target in this situation. Like, there's just zero reason to do that single target, because it's basically just a suicide commando, since you're attacking into a king which you know you couldn't kill, and you're already kind of low on Roxy, so she's gonna get revived. Yeah. But if she had another AoE, for example, pulled another AoE, she could have used that, and it would have probably killed Emilia. I mean, she would have revived, and Subaru would have got his buff, so you could have still won. Probably, you would have probably still won. But yeah, I think this team, it just all depends on the turn 1. If you can get wiped turn 1 by Roxy, when you have Priscilla on the team, it's not looking good for a full collab team. I mean, then again, you have just this kind of like vacuum. I think it looks really cool. It reminds me of Rimuru Beelzebub. But yeah, just team wipes, even at level 1. Again, I don't know if that team wipes if you don't have DN backline. She just gives you so much damage on U-turn. And yeah, that just really sucks, but I can't spend 600 gems on DN right now. I don't have the gems. I have like 1,200 gems when the patch comes out. So, yeah. And they just win. So yeah, if you face humans, now to go over the cases that they didn't show, if you face like a human team, you could probably, and they don't have like a darkness taunt or such, you could single target Merlin Escanor with Subaru and Beatrice to easily break their shield, and then just use any other cards, be it the Infect, AoE or whatever, to just kill Merlin Escanor to get that threat out of the way. Emilia immediately counters Shinra with a freeze especially. So yeah, you just easily win against humans in that case. Just freeze him. Yeah. And then if he like lives more than 3 turns, you can infect him, so then it's even easier. Any other teams? I guess against Scold. I don't know if you face Scold or something, but Scold. I mean, you have a revive, so it's not that scary, and you have a lot of HP, so I don't think you should be worried about it turn 1. Honestly. Yeah, I think you should be good against Gold. And I think that's it, kind of. There are not a lot of different meta teams right now. Fairies. Fairies. Priscilla gets, if you go second against Fairies, which I don't know which team has more CC, it could be close. If you go first against them, you would just rank up on your turn on Priscilla, and you will be able to stance remove King. If that's not the case, if that's not the case, that could be interesting. Maybe just wait. I mean, they can't really kill you by themselves. Yeah, I would say probably just wait. Just buff up. Maybe rush some ults. I guess. Yeah, I guess. Could be kind of a stall battle. But yeah. But I guess that's it. Don't really have more to say. Sorry for the long yap session. If anyone cared about the yapping, thank you. And comment down below if you liked the video. Like and subscribe. And I guess that's it. And I'm gonna see you in the next video. Hopefully tomorrow. And bye bye.